واغتراب فقير في الحياة من الصحاب ومن يأمنك يا دنيا الدواهي تدوسين المصائب.
What is the meaning of the word Imam? That's the real question. Tell me, anyway, have you never thought about the word Imam? Where did it come from? What does it mean? No. See, that's the problem. You need to understand, this is such a simple concept. It's going to fix most of our problems. This building, when it started, and any building when it starts, there's a certain process that every building goes through. Does anyone know what is that process? But when we start to construct, how does the foundation start? It starts with an Imam, literally. Okay, there are three different ways a building can go wrong. Okay, the foundation is set on a two-dimensional axis. Every building, okay, they dig a little hole, and then make sure that they tie a little string, and then they dig up in that hole. They put a little stick in there. Okay, so the lines are drawn perpendicularly and straight. But then there's another dimension that the building can go wrong. Okay, so we use this little device with a little bubble in there. You know that? Yeah, that actually straightens the building up from the other axis, which is where the direction of the bricks are going to be inclined or straight. So there's a three-dimensional axis point through which the building actually straightens itself out. If you don't mark those things, the building can go either in this direction or wrong or in this direction. We use a certain device, everybody uses that, to get the building straight in both the axes. That little device is called Imam in Arabic, the guy who actually leads the prayer. Even though Imam is the guy who's going to lead the city, who's going to set the direction and no one's going to go wrong. Imam is that element of the whole equation that's going to set the direction of the variables. Because if there's a constant, then there's a constant, but there are a lot of variables, then they can go wrong in multi-dimensional diagram. So Imam is the guy who actually assesses, understands, and modulates the direction of the whole community that he's actually leading. It's not just the prayer. This is where Imam actually manifests the imamah. Okay, but he constructs that imamah in that age. Every guy who holds this pulpit understands that there was such a big terror in the hearts of the Sahaba when they used to look at it, because this was the pulpit of the Prophet ﷺ. Sahabas didn't even go close to it, let alone wanted to be there. No, nobody wanted to be there, because they knew the responsibility. This is why Umar Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu says that if a single man's iman goes down in the streets of Medina, I am the one who's responsible. Imagine anybody who's sitting there says this about Bradford. That's the Imam, a multidimensional problem solver who's going to set the direction right. That's the Imam. That's why anything that goes wrong, you got to blame the Imam. So a guy who's actually holding the Friday sermon, he needs to really assess that little child. He needs to know the name of that child. He needs to know the name of this child, because this is the building stone of Bradford. In 10 years from now, anything that I'm going to say, he's going to do. He's going to become. I don't want to see the white bearded guys. They don't matter. I want to see the kids. I'm not responsible for anything that the bearded old man is going to do, because he's not directed by my words. He's old, he's wise, he can do the math himself. This boy thinks I am the last word. You know why? Because I represent religion. Any other professor of physics is going to teach him physics. He's not going to learn any other physics than the teacher of physics. Very big responsibility. Very, very big responsibility. Because that's physics. That's going to impact the progress of the world. I teach him wrong physics, a lot of machines are going to go wrong. If I teach him wrong mathematics, most of the things are going to go wrong. But if I teach him wrong Islam, everything's going to go wrong. That's the difference between this pulpit and any other pulpit in Oxford and Cambridge and any other school. This guy leads the teachers of the schools. This guy leads the professors of the universities. This guy leads, he's top notch. He's the highest pedestal there is. We need to understand how important the Imam is. He's way more important than the chief of police in Bradford. Because this man is responsible for all the crimes And if someone has any doubts, I just quoted you Umar al-Khattab, that even if the iman of a guy goes down in the streets of Medina, I am responsible. You know why he said Medina? Because he put imams in every city and town. Those were responsible for their streets of their towns. This man was sitting, radiallahu anhu, in the streets of Medina. He is the imam. There is no other masjid when there is Umar al-Khattab sitting in the pulpit of Masjid, the Prophet's mosque, the central mosque. That is how important the imam is. So you want to be in this spot, I'm sorry. Every time they call me in a masjid, I get scared. I'm like, no, this is not it. That's why he said, sit there. I'm not going to sit in this one. Sorry, I'm not. I know the psychology of this stage because this is not any other building. This is a masjid. This is the center of everything. This is the center of your akhirah. So I can be very casual in any university. You send me to Harvard, you'll see I'm going to be blazing with all guns out. You know? And you send me to Makkah, on the streets of Makkah, and I'll be casual. But if you send me in a masjid in the remotest possible town in Sydney, I can't be casual. This is why I'm telling you, Islam is the only solution to every problem, because the people who take up this responsibility are responsible for every problem of the human child. Mothers should run to the masjid. Fathers should run to the masjid. Tell them the problems. Imam of the masjid should be abreast of whatever is going on in the homes of his own town. He is way bigger than the chief of police. He's way bigger than the chief surgeon of the hospital. He's way bigger than the teacher of all the schools. He's way bigger than the professors of the university. But we don't use this building for that purpose. We come here to get out of this building. We feel a certain sense of relief when the prayer is over. We all know that. We can't be lying in a masjid. As soon as Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, everyone feels relieved. We should be crying. But you know what? I was talking to Allah Azza wa Jal. Ali ibn Abi Talib says, when I want Allah Azza wa Jal to talk to me, I open the Quran. And when I want to talk to Allah Azza wa Jal, I pray. That's the difference between how a Sahabi was trained into Islam and how we are trained out of Islam. That's the problem. And this boy deserves to be trained into Ali ibn Abi Talib, not Sahil Adeem. And I will be questioned, because I know, I'm telling you, today after today, you will be questioned, especially Imamis. You took Islam casually, I'm sorry. There's a bigger problem. You're either creating a problem or a solution. There is no neutral points in Islam. And either this boy is going to be the biggest problem solver or the biggest problem. Now you tell me, who is the Imam? Who asked me this question? Oh, sir. So now you know. Sir, anything else before we go? Yes, sir.
America, more or less, to do what they did, right?
Not America, globally.
Well, all right, fine. But but my point is, like, wouldn't you consider, like, the way they sort of built their influence? It was sort of with the conditions of America as well, because they were still building the institutions, and they got lucky, but they put in the hard work as well, right?
You didn't get lucky.
I mean,
that's the most unlucky, the unluckiest nation in the planet. Allah Azza wa Jal made them unlucky.
Right.
Maghdubi alayhim.
Right, that's fine. But my point is...
No, let's get this concept straight. Jews are not lucky. Jews are performing. Call a spade a spade. They're putting in the work. They're connecting with each other. Okay? I just came from Manchester, they're big, and Newcastle. Gateshead? That's the name? Yeah. I just came from there. Like literally, I just came from Gateshead and the car stopped in Bradford. That's the biggest Jewish cluster after Israel. They have their own laws in Gateshead. They have their own community in Gateshead. And we can't even, announce the Fajr Azan because it's before 8 o'clock here in Bradford. And that's the only city where you can actually hear the Azan. And we're boasting about it that we can do Azan here. I mean, that's not an achievement, sir. You know what's an achievement? They actually put the right standards in. We're not even looking at the right standards. Achievement is if this boy is known in less than 10 years for his actual achievements in Miami and Manila and Miyawali at the same time. That's an achievement. That's the Azan. If this boy is not known, he's not loud enough, then I don't care whether you can hear the Azan of Zohr or Asr or Maghrib. You need to understand how they're looking at things and how we're looking at things. They're producing products, machines, industry, and we think they're just collecting money. and they're misers and, selling interest rates. No. I'll tell you, I studied under a rabbi. It was a natural, social science subject. And because I was a Muslim guy picking on him, and he was a Jewish guy picking on me. And he said to me such a wise thing. He said, it is not the Jews are powerful and they're making Israel because of their power. You Muslims got it wrong. It is not the powerful Jews that are making Israel. It is Israel that is making Jews powerful. We have a central purpose. When you have one single purpose, every single attribute that is required to build that purpose comes about. We don't ask his father or mother, give me list the 10 attributes that they have designed for Isa. They're not going to be able to answer you. Because unless if you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter if you want to take left or right. So we need to write down a purpose statement for Isa. We need to write it down. And you know what? The bigger problem is that only his daddy or mommy is not enough. Imagine if I had 200 brothers, blood brothers from the same father. Imagine that. And I only had one son. Imagine 200 chachus in different companies, CEOs in industry and business and, and whatnot. What is the future of that nephew? He's got his work cut out for him. Every single thing is placed. Everyone is actually charting out a plan and giving the resource. That's the wonder boy. That is what Prophet ﷺ said. That every Isa should get 2 billion chachus. But he does not. He doesn't even have a single chachu. His own chacha doesn't understand the list of attributes he requires. He's raising his own son. And somehow, and sometimes, his son is a bigger problem for Isa. You need to understand. We're competing with each other as if, this man is going to, lead me to Jahannam or something. Even though, I swear to you, this concept is going to lead me to Jahannam because of, my nieces and nephews competing with my sons and daughters. That's all we're doing. That's the role of Imam again. Combine and connect everybody.